Hello, everyone.
Hi, everyone. My name's Amy Barrett Daffin.
And I'm Sophie Scardacci. And today we are doing a little chat. We plan on having lots of little chats this year. Mm-hmm. So this is 2025's kickoff. I did a quick little one on Friday. It was very impromptu just to check our equipment. But today we were going to talk about kind of goals for 2025. Like if you are doing something new, if you're going to try a new craft out, if whatever it is, we would love to hear about what you have planned. Mm-hmm. So go ahead and share with us in the chat, and we'd love to see that. But Amy was just telling me about one of the things you were going to try this year. So tell us about the project you're working on.
Right. So last year at about this time, I went mushroom hunting at my friend's farm up in the hills, and we found probably 15 different mushrooms, and they were so beautiful. Of course, it was pouring rain, so I couldn't take pictures. So I ended up going on to Pinterest and finding a bunch of mushroom pictures. I'll show you one. So this is one of my little pictures that I found.
I love mushrooms.
She knows she loves mushrooms. So then my friend Becky Goldsmith sent me a bunch of wool samples. Okay. And you can see my wool samples here. Yeah. And then here's my mushroom picture, right? Nice. And then I took a bunch of fabric, made a background, found backgrounds. So I'm going to do that. So that's me pulling it all together. And then here's how I'm organizing it. So I pin it together, and then I take all my little pieces.
Oh, I love it.
And then here's one that's ready to be stitched. So the whole idea is I'm getting in the car, I'm just sitting down for 5 minutes, or I'm taking a trip. I can take my photo, my background, and my pieces all pinned down.
Oh, I love the purple
and ready to
stems.
go.
They're so whimsical.
I know, and it works. So
it does.
I'm doing 26 blocks, and it's all an original design based on photos, but then I'm editing and changing it up.
Are you going to embellish it with?
Oh yeah, so I'm going to embroider. I'm going to hand embroider the wool, and then I probably will add embellishments, and then I'll add a little bit to the backgrounds. But I really want the backgrounds to be sort of simple. So 26 blocks, and
no pattern.
No pattern. I'm making it up in my head as I go along, which is how I like to do things. So I'm really excited about it. Yeah, so that's one project that I definitely have started. And then, I don't know if I told you about this, but last year my niece, Claire, wanted to make a quilt for her boyfriend, Tom. Mm-hmm. So we started in October. It had to be done by Christmas Eve. So we got it done.
Yeah.
She's made one quilt before. I think she was 15, so this was a long time ago. But now she said that her favorite day of the week is sewing with me. Oh, I know.
That's sweet.
So she's going to come, and every week we're going to make a bag.
Oh, you're doing bags.
Yeah. So, I've never really made very many bags. So
another new one.
We'll be learning together. Yeah. So we'll probly be the first week's easy bags with craft bags, and then after that they'll include pockets and lining.
If anyone's watching, if you have something you would like to try, whether you're going to or not, but you're like, maybe it's paint by number. Maybe it has nothing to do with quilting or sewing.
Yeah.
I did get my kids paint by number kits for.
Oh, I thought about doing that. That's such a fun idea. What did you get them?
One is a raccoon that's eating a stack of pancakes because
why not?
It's quirky.
Yeah.
And another one was it looked like Yosemite. I don't know if it's supposed to be, but.
Yeah, I almost bought some national park ones, and I ended up not doing it. So
so that's kind of the plan. But I shared on Friday that my project this year is to learn how to needle turn applique.
Yeah.
So I have done wool applique via Becky Goldsmith's guidance, and this year I'm doing needle turn applique in probably some raw edge applique. So I'm going into the applique world.
Nice.
So I don't know how many of you out there have done applique, love it, struggle. I don't know. Share with us. We'd love to see in the comments.
Yeah.
We'll address any comments if you're not watching this live too.
Right.
So,
right. And you're doing it with Becky Goldsmith, right?
I am doing it with Becky, and it's called Blooming Joy. We're going to meet next week, so if you want to hear more about that. Actually, what I'm excited about next week that we're talking about with Becky is her process, like her design process. So I got her to give me sketches of how she went from like conception to the reality of the quilt. And I think it's going to be really interesting just to hear about, like, even if you're, want to just know how a designer kind of does how it travels. There's a lot of different ways to design things, obviously. So and then the other
Becky does one cool thing. I was looking on because I had a meeting with her, and I was looking on her design wall, I was reading her newsletter, and she said that when she puts up her block, she always overlaps the edges and doesn't leave any white space because it'll really mess with the design aesthetic. And I've always just sort of butted them up, but not really. And when I really looked at the photo and the difference, I was, I've been doing this a long time, and that was a real aha moment for me. So
she actually has me building a design wall.
Yay!
But what is cool too is I'm going to use Liberty of London lawn fabric, and if anyone decides they want to do the block of the month, come join us. Like, we'd love that. But what I did ask her is which kind of thread to use, because the lawn cotton is different than quilter's cotton.
Super lightweight.
And she was really great about getting back to me about like what to use and all of that. So that's one of the things I love about our job.
I know.
Is all the great resources we have.
If you need any Liberty, I may know someone who has a bunch in her staff. I have a huge stash of Liberty.
I'm going to be raiding her house down the street.
You can come down and raid the stash.
Work with great people. So, love to know if you worked with Liberty of London Lawn. Let me know what you loved or got frustrated with. I mean, it's obviously beautiful. And she's actually going to be doing a presentation at one of our live events. Not the one that's coming up, which is Quilter's Color Mixer, which is on January 31st. But one we will release at the end of the month called Piecing Palooza.
Yes.
But just a quick note on Quilter's Color Mixer. Amy got some color tools over here because we have a lot of stuff going on about color this year. We have the Quilter's Color Mixer, which has got always new content. All of our live stuff, even if you're like, hey, I went to Color Mixer before. It's all new. We have new people, new subject matter. So there's some really interesting subjects.
And I think the thing about color that I think is so fascinating, I'm trying to pull something up on my phone. The thing about color that I think is so fascinating is that color is so subjective. And so just because you've been to a different color mixer, or maybe you've taken a class on color, you are going to learn something new from every single person that you meet. And that's the thing that continually blows me away. And the example that I give is the very first Piecing Palooza we did, we asked everybody who was teaching, how do you get a scant 1/4 inch? And every single person had different answers. And I remember you and I were like, wait a minute. It's like, I thought I knew, and now I don't. And so it's super, being a lifelong learner myself, and I know you are too, Sophie, we love to have you there because we love to see the aha moment where you go, I didn't know that. Like, what?
There's one on making your own monochromatic fabric. I'm so excited about it. Like, there's like things like I've never heard of before. So anyways, definitely go check out that page. We'll put a link somewhere.
And then I brought just, for some fun eye candy, just to remind everybody. And so we have a book coming out in February called The Color Guide, Mastering Color. There's more to the title than that, but it's the Quilter's Color Guide. You'd think I'd know. I help put it together. But one of the things it made me do was really go back and look at all the tools that we have. And so I just wanted to share with you, we have this wonderful Ultimate Color tool, which I love. And it has in the back, what's special about this is it has red and green value finders. If you're having a hard time figuring out your value, that's the thing to use. We also have, this is one of my favorites, the Essential Color Wheel. And what's essential about it is it has the color families on this side, and then on this side it has all the different values, and I'm getting a lot of glare. But the cool thing is it has the petals, so you can slide the fabric underneath and give yourself a little bit so that it overlays it and you can really see what it looks like.
Look at all the tints and tones on here too.
I know.
Like, that's like also
all
amazing.
the values. Yeah. And then the third one, which I think this came out.
By the way, we have a lot more than 3. If
Right.
you all didn't know that. And so, yeah.
Yeah. And then the
but
third
here's just
one
a quick look.
is the palette builder.
Yeah.
And the great thing about this is if you are a low volume person, like you like to work in low volume quilts, then you use this one that has white added. So
Yeah.
you only do tints. I am a jewel tone person, so I use the shades color wheel that has the darker colors.
I like the neutral one too.
Oh yeah, so Sophie gets to be neutral. How neutral of you, Sophie?
I'm not actually super neutral. I've been more neutral lately.
You
though,
have
in
been
my
more
quilting.
neutral.
Yeah.
So these
So
are
that's-
just 3 of the, I think we have more than 7
Yeah.
colored tools.
So that book comes out in February, and it's a
Yes.
compilation. And what's going to be really fun is Amy's going to do a talk show with a bunch of the contributors. to
All of
that.
them.
All of them. Every
Yes.
single one. Oh, I
Yeah.
didn't even realize it was all of them.
I got all
Y'all-
10 of them to participate.
It's
Probably
going to be
because
the
I bugged
coolest
them.
conversations. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
And so, again, not out yet.
Yeah.
We're just giving you a little peek at what 2025
So
has.
one of our viewers asked, which tool do you use the most and why? And I didn't bring it. I could run out and get it. I use the Essential Color card deck. There's over 200 cards because they're big chunks of color, and that works better for me.
Yeah, I like that one. I also really like Katie's
Oh, right, the foolproof color
foolproof
wheel.
color wheel. I like it because it's really like clear what the color families are. It's got these discs that go on top. But I also am really loving Marcy's new value tool
Yeah.
too.
That one's super
and she'll
cool.
be doing a presentation on
Yeah.
that. There's actually also YouTube's out on that too.
Yeah, I think she did a YouTube,
Yeah.
but yeah, I mean, there's
love
the different
color.
people that we have coming and the things they're going to talk about. Yeah.
It's gonna be good.
Yeah.
The other thing that Amy and I are gonna be attempting. When does that come out? When am I supposed to have it done?
It's
I think now.
no,
No?
I think
When
it's
is it?
March.
Okay, there is a landscape art quilt,
Yeah.
and Amy announced to me that you're making a landscape art quilt, and I've never made a
With
landscape
me and,
with her.
and I
Yeah.
haven't done one either. But we are republishing a book by Nancy Zeman and Natalie Seward, and we're doing it with the trust, the Nancy Zeman Trust.
Yeah.
And
Because both have passed
Passed.
away. Yeah,
And
let's
so
be clear.
but we wanted to do a video, and I started reading through the book, and it's not that hard. And Sophie's like, I've never done a landscape quilt.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, if I can do it, you can do it.
Yeah.
So we can do it together.
Yeah, maybe some other people want to do it
Yeah.
together. Hey, if you want to do it together, put it in the comment, and we'll find you.
Yeah,
and
and-
you can do it with us.
And you can be a guinea pig with us. As,
Yeah.
As we, yeah. And Sophie was like, I want to use this fabric. And I'm like, no.
Yeah, it was. I did also find some other. Now that I've read the book, I kind of understand what I was supposed to, what we're supposed to have.
Yeah.
I was like, let's get this fabric. She's like, okay, here's your fabric, and I'm like, oh shoot, that is hard fabric to use.
Yeah.
I will find a use for it though.
Yes, I'm sure you will.
So yeah, there we go. So that's some of what we
Yeah.
have planned. Again, we hope you join us for some of it.
Yeah.
All of it, any of it, and we will be doing more. At least once a week, we'll be doing live things on here. One of us, both of us, maybe a guest, all sorts of things. So
Yeah.
please subscribe on either YouTube or Facebook. That's where we'll be putting them. They stream at the same time, and
And did you mention that we're the co-hosts of the Color Mixer?
We're
In
the
case you haven't seen our
We're
silly
the-
videos, which you really should look for because they're really, really silly.
they are. I
Mm-hmm.
got a lot of great comments. People sent me direct messages about them that know us.
Nobody sent me a message.
Well, they loved it. So we're generally always the co-hosts for the events.
Of everything.
Uh,
Or the ones who make the videos.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that too. I think we're willing to put ourselves. I have no shame.
Yeah, and we
Ever.
also, we're
Good
pretty
sense of
silly.
humor.
And,
Yeah.
we don't really have a lot of ego involved
Nah.
in what we're doing. So,
So-
yeah.
Yeah. Hey, if you have a great idea for a video, tell us too. So,
Yeah.
Anyways, thank you for joining
Yeah.
us today.
Uh-huh.
Next week, Wednesday, the 22nd.
Besides
No.
applique,
What else?
anything else you're going to work on?
Oh, what else? Oh, I'm going on a quilt retreat this weekend.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Okay, see?
4 nights.
Okay.
And I'm gonna work on UFOs. Who here has a UFO? Just a few.
Me.
And so I'm going to be doing a bunch of those.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
See,
So-
okay, so join us next week.
Yeah, and maybe I'll have an update on what I finished as well. But I will be with Becky. We'll be talking about Blooming Joy. We'll
Nice.
talk about design and all that. So, and also how to, like, if you want to do Blooming Joy or you're thinking about it, how would you use your stash? Let's use our stash, people. So, like, let's figure out how you could go into your stash and participate in that block of the month without having to maybe even buy anything. Wouldn't that be awesome?
That would be awesome. That would be awesome. And then we also don't forget about the Quilter Color Mixer, and that is January 31st. We
Yes.
would love to see you there.
There's coupons everywhere, people. So
Yeah.
use a coupon.
Yeah.
It's like ends up after the coupon being like $40. You get 10 sessions. It's like $4 a session. Even if you don't want to watch them all, it's still a great deal.
Yeah,
So.
and I'm going to be putting in the swag bag at least 3 patterns.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, she's taken the swag up a level.
I'm up in the swag.
Plus great prizes, all sorts of stuff. So check it
Yeah.
out. We'll see you next week. Thanks everyone for tuning in and making comments.
Yeah, we really appreciate all
Yeah.
of you, and we look forward to seeing you next week. Bye, everybody.
Bye everyone.